be here with you today. I hope you're having a really good day and you are getting some rest with all the upheaval that's going on in the world right now, and that you're also staying safe. And I just want to say a big thank you for everyone who has been checking in with each other. A big thank you for everyone who is proactively looking to make the world a better place, more peaceful place, more equal place for everyone. And I know it's really hard times right now. It can be really hard to see what possibly can come out of, what positive possibly can come out of this kind of upheaval. But as I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday, an INFP friend of mine, he reminded me that, and rightly so, that there is a storm before every next level. So we are right now in the eye of the storm, and we need to keep going through it. We need to continue to do the right thing. We need to keep being the right person, the authentic person, the caring person, the compassionate person, the effective person. We have to look after ourselves and we have to look out for others. And when we do that, we will weather this storm. So I just wanted to say thank you everyone who's reached out, checking in how I'm doing. Thank you for everyone who's been reaching out to say how they're doing. We're all in this together, so we will defeat this as we've defeated things in the past. We just have to keep going. So going to this week's questions, we're focusing on relationships in June 2020. And the first question is, I'm finding inner parenting very helpful in managing my life and in making better decisions. I'm looking at trying to get my entire family, my husband, son 10 years old, and daughter 12 years old, to do their own inner parenting, but I don't know how to do it. Can you please help me? I'm an INFJ and I don't know what their types are. Okay, so what's really coming through from here, and I want to commend you on, is your care for the people in your family. So it's very clear from your question that you really care. You want your family members to reap the benefits of the inner parenting that's been really helpful for you. And I just want to say congratulations on doing your own inner parenting and really seeing the benefits of it. As you very well know, once you start to be moving into the kind of strong inner parenting space, your life just gets a lot less complicated, a lot less dramatic. You can start healing from trauma, those kinds of things. And it's just so wonderful that your outward facing feeler, your unifier, wants this kind of life for your family as well. Now, when it comes to other people and teaching other people the things that we've found ourselves to be helpful, it's really good to remember that everyone has their own path. And even though this has been really helpful for you, it might not be exactly the right thing for others. So it's really important to understand that as a starting premise. And after that, you can start having those conversations, asking those people, would they like to learn about it? Would they like to learn about something that worked for you? And if they don't want to hear about it, then don't try to teach them, because they're not in a position. It's just going to be a big exercise in frustration. Instead, let them know that you're there. You have a certain knowledge that may or may not be right for them, and if it is, they can come to you and they can have a conversation and take and leave as much as possible, and try and kind of manage your urge to be so helpful. Trust that other people also can find their own way. A lot of the times INFJs tend to fall on the rescuer place of the drama triangle, and I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but just keep an eye on that a little bit, because the rescuers do actually feel that they have to help the victims, they have to rescue the victims. And as a dynamic, it's a sneaky one, because a rescuer would never admit this. I mean, I'm a classic recovered rescuer, so I know this very intimately. But what I would say is that keep an eye on the fact that when you are a rescuer, if you are a rescuer, when I'm a rescuer, I see others as inferior to me. I believe that only I can help them, or that I have the answers to their problems, and that might not actually be true. So kind of keep an eye on that. But the other thing that I would say to you about your kids in particular is that their type has not necessarily fully developed yet. So for them to do inner parenting, in relation to the 4 people within framework is probably not going to, they're probably not ready for it yet. It's only kind of around 16, 17 that the personality type has kind of fully developed into in inverted commas palatable space where the person is able to identify those 4 different people within them. So when it comes to your kids, your 10-year-old and your 12-year-old children, teaching them how to think for themselves, how to problem solve for themselves could be the way to go. So, there are several different ways that we do. Let's just focus on 2 ways of making decisions. So we make decisions based on our emotions, and we make decisions based on our thinking. And there are 4 different ways within that you can kind of almost qualify decisions that anybody makes. So if you teach your kids to qualify, to fulfill these 4 qualifications whenever they're making decisions, they will begin to make better decisions. And the qualifications are, does this feel authentic to me? Does me doing this, what I'm deciding to do, does it feel authentic to me? Is it harmonious for everyone involved? So any person that is affected by my decision, are they going to be okay with it? Will their lives be enhanced by me making this decision? Number 3 is, do I have all the facts? So do I have enough information to actually make decision? What don't I already know? And number 4, is this the most effective way of doing what I'm wanting to do? So for example, let's just say that you go to the post box. The child goes to the post box. It's about, you live in the country, it's about 1 kilometer to the post box. They could walk there, they could take the bike there, they could ride the horse there. And, they might come to you and say, what will I do? What should I do? And you go like, okay. So what is the most authentic way of you going there? What feels the most right for you? And they say, okay, I want to ride the bike, or I want to ride the horse. And then you say, okay, so everybody that's included and affected by your decision, what's the most harmonious way? How is your decision going to be affected? So if you take the horse, and the horse has just been it's just fed and is still eating, is it the most harmonious thing for the horse to go and take the horse out of the stable, put the saddle on and ride it to the letterbox? And the child might go, well, no, it's not. So I'm thinking bike. Then you say, do you have all the facts? Is the post already there? Are you just going to go there and there's not going to be, the postman hasn't been yet? And they go like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I might give it another half an hour. And then they start thinking in that way. And then you ask, so what's the most effective way? Is it most effective for you to walk, or is it most effective for you to cycle? Let's just say that, you have a puncture on your bike, on your tube, and in order for you to go there, you'd have to first fix the bike, but then you don't have all those parts and you're not able to fix it. So it might not be most effective way for you to try to fix the bike and then go with the bike. So the answer might be, take a walk. And then you might say, okay, well, that's not my preference. How can I make this more, because I want to do this whole thing. I want to listen to this podcast. I want to do this homework relating to podcast. So then you can say, okay, well, can you walk and listen to podcast at the same time and then do the homework when you get home? So you kind of teach them to look at different decisions from different angles and start engaging their prefrontal cortex in that way. And oftentimes when kids are having a hard time, it's because their prefrontal cortex is not engaged in a way that makes sense to them. So they can be hijacked by amygdala and, the kind of the survival parts of the brain, especially if they're stressed out. So you starting to ask those questions of your kids can actually be super helpful. In relation to your husband, what I would say in that regard is that, if you want to talk about inner parenting with your husband, just ask him, hey, I have this, I've been doing this thing called inner parenting or for people within work for some time now, and I've noticed that it's helped for me in a certain way. Would you be okay if I shared with you what I've found? So you're not even trying to fix their problems or giving them advice. You're just wanting to share your own experience. And what this will do is it will increase the level of intimacy between the two of you, because now you're sharing something about yourself rather than just always trying to help other people. So that's what I would say to that. Let me know if that was a helpful reflection. I'd love to hear from you.